Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. This week we're following the story of Gideon that begins in Judges chapter 6. And Gideon is living at a time when once again the people of God have fallen away. They have turned instead to the worship of Baal and Asherah. These are gods that the Canaanites worshipped. And now the people of Israel have gotten caught up in that. Some have replaced their worship of the Lord with these false gods, and some have tried to add them on to the mix. But what's happened then is that God has turned them over to their neighbors. He's turned them over to the Midianites, who now have come upon them as these terrifying raiders who sweep in and steal everything they can. They take all their food, livestock, and property that they can carry away, and off they go. We can imagine the terrible cycle that this creates. Every time they're ready to harvest, every time they think that they're just about to get ahead, every time they think that they've gotten their house repaired from the last round of attacks, here they come again. And over again. For 7 years, they've been under this terrifying series of attacks. And the Lord then raises up Gideon to make a stand, to take a stand in faith and to take a stand against these Midianite invaders. Now, where we meet Gideon is in a place where he is hiding. He's hiding, trying to gather some grain that they can keep hidden from the Midianites. And when the Lord came to him, this is kind of the whole condition of his life. He's living it in hiding. We can certainly relate to the need to hide for survival. In fact, this past year and a half of dealing with COVID has taught us all a lesson about what it's like to be pushed into hiding and to have to live our lives in isolation and trying to keep away from an invading disease that is attacking our neighbors and friends. And so we can relate to Gideon as he's dealing with these continual cycles. And many of us in our ordinary lives have seen these kind of cycles impact us as well. Where just the time that you think that you're getting ahead and going to get out of debt, another crisis comes along, and there you are again. And so we know what it's like to deal with those kinds of struggles and can certainly relate to Gideon and this fear and the sense of need to hide. But I want to tell you that I believe that Gideon was not only hiding from the Midianites, I think that he was hiding from some of his family and his neighbors as well. Because as they had been caught up in this worship of Baal and Asherah, I think that Gideon is one of those people who is still believing in God in his heart. And even though he complains when the Lord salutes him and saying, Gideon, mighty warrior, the Lord is with you. And Gideon said, I don't know where the Lord is at, but he's not with me. You know, I believe that Gideon says that because, in fact, he is hoping that God would show up, hoping that God has not left them permanently, is still seeking. But I believe that this is left really rather secreted in his heart, that he's there as this person living amongst a crowd of people who have gone off and worshiping these false gods, many of them his own family and friends. But he is still holding on to something in his heart. And when the Lord convinces him that it's truly the Lord that is sending him to set things right in this nation and to get the Midianites off their backs, well, Gideon steps up, and his first mission is to knock down the altar of Baal and to cut down the Asherah pole, and instead to build an altar to the Lord and use the Asherah pole to burn a sacrifice to the Lord there on that altar. And Gideon is willing to do it, but he does it at night. It says because he is afraid of some of his family and his neighbors. And so that we can see that he's hiding. He's hiding something very important in his life, but it's very, very personal and very, very secret to him. This leaves us with a cautionary note, even as we're coming out of this COVID. We can certainly all relate to the way in which people have been in hiding, and many people have been very, very much living in isolation, trying to keep away from the illness and disease that has struck so many. And many people then have become very isolated and secret even in their faith. I mean, Listen, we've put our worship services online. We have these kinds of daily devotions that we can turn to. And many people have become absolutely satisfied in saying, I can just do this all very much alone, privately, and in my own heart and in my own home. And I don't have to get out there in the world and get with other people in order to do this. But I want to share with you this encouragement to say, these dailies are meant to supplement your life, not to be a replacement for getting with people and sharing your faith, both to build up believers and to help others come to know Christ. Let's not keep something so secret that is so precious. Let's make it known. May God bless you today, and as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever He takes you.